So a home seller calls you up and wants to have you come out and give them a valuation on their home. What's their home worth? Because they're thinking about selling it. So how do you get a listing? How do you compete? Okay, you want to find out first from that person. Of course, you're going to greet them. Well, wonderful. I'd love to come out, give you a value on your home. I'd like to ask you a few questions first. Get some details on their home. Most of it we can look up, but get some details. Find out what their hot buttons are, what makes them really like their home, so that when we go out on a listing appointment, or you go out on a listing appointment, that you don't overlook those items that are very important to them. So you're going to want to find out what was the reason they purchased the home. Maybe it was close to schools, maybe it was the view, maybe walking distance to restaurants. You need to find out their hot buttons. So you tell them you're going to go out, take a look at their home, and I'm gonna ask them, are you interviewing other agents? And they may say yes, we're going to interview several other agents. I'll ask, when is your first appointment? Because I want to be the first agent in on that interview. The reason is because I'm going to come in strong, and if I wait until the end of all their other interviews, there's a good chance that it may never even get to me, that I might not even ever get in front of that home seller. So I'll ask how many agents are coming. They may tell you, they may not. I'll ask when their first agent's coming and try to get in before them if I can. I want to be the first in the door. So you go to the person's home and you need to relax, okay? You want to build rapport with that home seller. So you go in, you compliment them on their home. Don't overdo it. The more you overdo the compliments on their home, the higher the price goes. Compliment them on their home. Try to create small talk. Remember, if a client or buyer, seller, if they like you, they're going to do business with you. People want to do business with people that they like. It's that simple. So you want to try to build that rapport while you're on that listing appointment. So you go through and you take the details of the home. You tell them, hey, can you give me the grand tour? I want to see your beautiful home. You always have a notepad. I've seen agents go into homes and go for a tour with the seller. They don't write down anything. Terrible idea. Get a notepad. I don't care what you write, but be writing as they go through and show you the home. It shows that you're actually interested in their home and that you're actually taking the time to write down what they're saying, okay? So every action you make during that presentation is building up to the close so that you can get that listing. So you go through the home, you walk through all the details and so forth, and you want to sit down at the table with them. You want to sit where you can sit together and pass information at normally the table. I usually set my stuff down where I want to sit with a home seller so that it kind of makes us go that direction. I've sat on a sofa and passed things back and forth, very uncomfortable. I sat on a sofa once, and a poor gentleman, I gave him the price of his home, and unfortunately he had a stroke and fell over on me on the sofa. And anyway, it's a long story. It's in my book. But so you sit back down and you start discussing the home. You don't go into price right away. You don't go into commission right away. You sit there and ask them. Start asking questions. So why are you thinking about moving? Okay. Where are you going to go? What's your time frame? Before you even get into your presentation, you need to know this. This is so important to know these facts. So where are you moving to? So you find out where they're going. Why are you moving? Find out. Maybe it's to be closer to grandkids. Maybe it's closer to medical. Maybe it's a job transfer. You need to find their hot button of why they need to move. And that's what we call motivation. The more motivated someone is to move, the more likely they're going to listen to you when you give them the fair market value of their home. Okay? So you talk about what their ambitions are and their motivations to move. So then you go into your presentation, and they may say, well, what do you think my house is worth? And I say, look, Mr. Seller, I want to show you a few things. It's pretty difficult to sell a home in this market. and I'd like to show you what I'm going to do for you, okay? And you want to go through your services, okay? So it's basically this. It's your services, it's the price, handle objections, and close the listing, okay? It's going to be in that order all the time. Because if you go in first with the price, all they're concerned about is price. And then they're going to go and try to get you to reduce your commission because you didn't show them what you were going to do for them, okay? So you've got to sell your services first. That's what's going to support your commission in the long run. So you sit down and start talking to them, and you talk to them about moving and their motivations, and you're going to show them in a nice presentation of what you're going to do for them. Over and above putting a sign in the yard and throwing it on social media, you need to have a unique list of things that you do to set yourself apart from other agents. I've got some of that in my book that I discuss and a plan of how you can put that together. So you're going to discuss your services. Once you discuss your services, you're going to go in and you're going to discuss the home value. You're going to control the conversation of how it goes. You're just going to keep on going. If they have a question, fine. If they don't, you just keep moving forward to the close of the listing. So you discuss home prices, and you never say, I think your home is worth this. No. You say the comps. It's always the comp's fault. It's the appraisal's fault. The comps say that your home is worth this amount. Let me show you. This home is for sale. It's a competition. Any home that I have here is competition for you, and they can see what's their competition. And then you show them the homes that expired. These are the homes that were priced at this price, didn't sell, and expired, wasted their time, okay? And you show them the pending homes. Those are the homes that are currently in escrow, and those homes, it shows their listed price when they went into escrow. So the pending homes are super important because you can show the seller. You say, look, this home was listed for $549, and that's the price that caused it to go into escrow. So let's look at that. Let's look at your competition. Let's look at your pendings. We're going to look at some sales too, because that's what your appraiser is going to base the home value on. What do you mean appraisal? Well, when we sell a home, typically we have to get an appraisal if the buyer's getting financing. So not only am I coming in to show you the comps, the appraiser is going to use the same comps that I'm showing you today to determine the value on your home, okay? So that they know that they're going to be held to that appraised value as well, and it's the same information we're using. So we get through that part, and I have in my book, it's called The Lockbox. You can get it on Amazon. It's The Lockbox by Dean Baker. I've got how I write down what the home value is worth. I'll suggest to them based on comps, if you're not in a hurry, it's this price. If you really want to get moving, it's this price, and so forth. So we try to set the price, and then you'll get some kickback. Typically, most all sellers, home sellers, want more than their home's worth. And when I say worth, it's based on the actual values of other homes selling. So you'll have to know your objections and go over that as well. They're going to want more money. And when they start trying to go over market value, you need to go back to what their motivation was in the beginning of the conversation. That's why you do it in that order that I'm telling you. So they say, well, we want, let's say the house is worth 500 and they want 600. You say, guys, look, according to the comps, that would put us 100,000 over list price. I don't feel that the home is going to pull that much money. Plus, we're going to have to get an appraisal. So if the home does sell for that amount, we may not get the appraisal, okay? And Mr. and Mrs. Seller, you told me that you really needed to move to get closer to medical. And at 100,000 over price, we're probably not going to get you moved at all, or we're going to put your home on the market and it's going to be a big waste of time. So that's why it's important to find out their motivation for selling right away at the beginning of the conversation. So we determine the price and we use the motivation to keep them in realistic numbers to help them move on. Then they'll go into the commission. So as we all know, commissions are negotiable. We all set the rate that we want, and we'll present the rate to them. And most cases, everybody knows that they're negotiable. Commissions are negotiable. So most of the time, people just feel like they have to ask for a discount. So they'll ask you, what's your commission rate? I tell them it's, let's say, 5%. And they'll say, well, can you do it for 4? I'll say, you know what? I would love to do it for 4, but I can't, because remember all that value I showed you in the beginning of this conversation, all those things that we do for you cost a lot of money. And if you want the best service and you want everything that I offered you and you want to get this home sold, we're going to have to get 5%. Okay. Again, that's why I set up the value in the beginning of the conversation, because if you don't show value, you don't have any value. Okay. You have to show what your value is so that they're willing to pay you for it. All right, so we set the price, we set the commission. Now there's other commission objections that I have in the book that we can go through. You know, mainly I've been doing this 33 years, and mainly, you know, you'll get somebody ask you, you'll show your value, and you usually get the listing. Some people are real grinders, so you need to know your scripts and so forth for that. And then you set the price and you keep it flowing. Okay, guys, I charge 5%. Here's the price. Let's go ahead and get this listed. I can get professional photos in a couple days if you're ready. We can get things prepped. You can start cleaning up. Let's get the paperwork done so that we can get everything in process. Here you go. Please sign here. Don't stop. Don't wait. Don't ask. Just continue the conversation that you're having or the closing, and just go right into listing the house and reassuring them that you are the guy that's going to sell their home. Well, we can't sign tonight because we have other appointments. I said, tell you what, I split my commission with any other agent that sells your home. So all those other appointments that you have set, I'll go ahead and call them for you and let them know that I listed it and that I'll share the commission with them if they wish to sell your home. That way everybody's happy, and we can get started on this right now, because I know you guys really need to move because of the medical situation. All right. Well, I hope you guys get more listings. If you get a chance, grab a copy of my book, The Lockbox. It's 33 years of sales woven in with stories like this, and really the foundation of how to sell real estate in the long game. So if you get a chance, grab a copy and let's sell some more real estate. Thanks a lot, guys. Bye.